Hello everyone and welcome to Circle Equations. So it specifically says to multiply out the following equations. So we're going to do x minus 3 times x minus 3 plus y plus 2 times y plus 2 equals 9. And from here we're going to get x squared minus 3x plus 9. And for the other equation, we're going to have plus y squared plus 2y plus 4 and equals 9. So notice that in the blue, I have this part of the equation that's coming from x minus 3 times x minus 3. And in the black, I have this part of the equation, and that's coming from y plus 2 times y plus 2. Now, going back to combining like terms, I'm going to wind up with x squared minus 6x plus 9 plus y squared plus 4y plus 4 equals 9. And if I was to subtract 9 from both sides, I would wind up with x squared minus 6x plus y squared plus 4y plus 4 equals 0. This is the same equation as the one that was originally given to me. So this equation here is equivalent to this equation here. Clearly one of them looks easier or well compact, and the other one is a little more involved. So what we have to take a look at now is the following. The above is called the general formula for the circle, where it has x squared minus 6x plus y squared plus 4y plus 4 equals 0. What is the center and the radius of the circle above? If you were to look at this equation, it would not be so easy to figure out what the center and the radius is. So for example, here, we don't really know what the center is, and we don't really know what the radius is. But if I was to go back and look at this particular equation, we clearly know that the center is positive 3, negative 2, and it has a radius of 3. So the center is positive 3, negative 2, and it has a radius of 3. So what equation did you look at to get the center and the radius? You probably looked at the whole x minus 3 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals 9. And this is why that's called the center radius form of the equation. Sometimes you are given the equations in the general form, and you have to convert it into the center radius form so you can determine the center and the radius. We do this by completing the square. So I'm going to type in here, completing the square. Now, these are the steps that you want to follow in order to do this. The first one is move the constant to the other side of the equation. So I'm going to write plus 2 and plus 2. So I have x squared plus 6x plus y squared plus 10y equals 2. Now, the next part of this says take 1/2 of the middle term, square it, and add it to both sides. So the first thing that I want to look at is 1/2 of the middle term. And when I talk about the middle term, I'm talking about this 6x. So I'm going to take 1/2 of 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And I'm going to square it and get 9. So I'm actually going to add 9 to both sides of the equation. Now I'm also going to, at the same time, take 1/2 of the positive 10y, square it, and add it to both sides. So that's going to look like this. 10 divided by 2 equals 5, and 5 squared equals 25. So I'm going to add 25 here, and I'm going to add 25 there. I'm going to wind up with x squared plus 6x plus 9 plus y squared plus 10y plus 25 equals 36. Now it says factor the trinomials individually. So I'm going to take a look at this one. If I was to factor that, I would get x plus 3 times x plus 3 plus, and if I factored the next one, I would have y plus 5 times y plus 5 equals 36. And then I'm going to rewrite them as the product of a binomial squared. And what that means is I'm going to write this as x plus 3 squared plus y plus 5 squared equals 36. This is a much better center radius form of the circle. So I could identify the center and the radius based on this new equation. The center would be -3, -5, and the radius would be 6. It's important that you realize that these two equations are identical. So the equation given here in general form is the same as this equation here in center radius form. So let's take a look at another example. I'm going to follow the rules, and the first thing that I do is I'm going to move the 8 to the other side. So I wind up with x squared minus 8x plus y squared plus 2y equals -8. So as far as the center term goes, I'm going to start with this -8x. So I'm going to do -8 divided by 2 is -4. -4 squared is 16. So I have to add 16 to here and 16 to there. Then I'm also going to do it with the 2y here. So I'm going to take 2 divided by 2 equals 1. 1 squared equals 1. And I'm going to add 1 to both sides of the equation. So what I wind up with is x squared minus 8x plus 16 plus y squared plus 2y plus 1 equals 9. I'm going to factor the first part of this equation, and then I'm going to factor the second part of the equation. So it's going to be x minus 4 times x minus 4 plus y plus 1 times y plus 1 equals 9. I'm going to rewrite this as the product of a binomial squared, which is x minus 4 squared plus y plus 1 squared equals 9. And then I can easily identify the center and the radius. The center is at 4, -1, and the radius is 3. Thanks, and I'll see you tomorrow.